This is Quentin with Lawn Care Accelerator, and we are with Eamon Giboo. You know him. I've done a podcast with him before, yes, and also did a setup video, right?
Yeah.
So, over the summer, that really, really hot day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys remember Eamon Giboo, and we're kind of towards the end of March right now. And, we're just going to be talking about, kind of what his goals are and what his plans are for this year. And, what he's learned in being, because last year was your first full year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's anything that you've learned, I'm sure we'd love to all hear about that, especially the people that are, maybe starting this year, or this might be their second year. People can always, I think, learn something new, and just never stop learning.
I'm still learning every day.
Yeah,
I don't have it figured out. I'm nowhere near close to having it figured out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going into my fourth year, and it's hard to imagine if I've had Lawn Care Ninja for 4 years, but
yeah,
I'm still learning stuff too. I think I know a lot.
Yeah, you've been around the block a few decades.
Well, I mean, when I watch, other YouTube videos and listen to other podcasts, there's just so much information out there that I realized I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was talking with Garrett, and like the pricing matrix. I don't know if you caught that last episode.
Yeah.
But just this winter, I've been learning a lot about effective hourly rate.
Yeah. And
how to apply that. To make money, because it's not all about what you're charging.
I'm still learning a lot too, because just listening to Garrett talk, I'm like, this dude is smart.
Garrett's a smart kid, and I think he's only 20 still.
Yeah.
So
I know he's young. I don't remember how young, but I know that he's young, and I'm just like, this dude is smart.
Yeah.
I was trying to listen, because you even made a reel, I think, out of it, and I was listening to it again, and I'm like, dude, it still doesn't make sense to me.
It was kind of fast paced, but you kind of have to, because that's kind of like the
But it's that whole pricing, hourly rate stuff. It's hard for me to think about, because it's like I'm solo, but I should think about it.
You should.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how fast I can do any lawn until I do it once or twice and work out the kinks. Mm-hmm. So I look at the size of the lawn, and I compare it to lawns that I've already done that are about the same size, and that's how I do my pricing. So it's not just like, oh, I want to make $60 an hour or whatever, even though that's usually what it works out to. Is there's sometimes where it's more. I think my lowest price I have is $30, and it's literally some people are like, oh, my minimum's 40. It's like, I would love to have that, but there's some lawns it's like 2 passes in the front and maybe 4 in the back, and you're done mowing.
You'd be surprised. I took some on last year. My minimum was 36.
Yeah.
I raised all my prices on every single one this year. Of course, I've lost some people.
Yeah, me too.
But my minimum's 40 now.
Okay.
And I have a couple front onlys, and they're 42. And they signed on for this year, so wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just. I'll get into it later.
You kind of test the waters to see what people are kind of willing to accept and tolerate. And if you're looking to grow or get more customers, start at that lower price point.
Yeah.
But if you can't really take on any more work, then that's when you're kind of okay, my minimum's 60 now, and if someone takes it and it only takes 5 minutes to do, great. But if most people are like, oh, that's too much, then that's okay, because you're not really looking for any more work.
Yeah, and that's what I started doing middle to end of last year when people were trying to sign up. It's especially because I'm in that one neighborhood that's still being built, and a lot of people don't move in until their grass is almost a foot long because they don't cut it for them while their house is being built, or just sitting there waiting for them to move in. So I always get called, and I'm like, okay, first time cut, it's going to be, I quoted someone $120 for a first time cut. I'm like, because it was long, and they I can't mulch that stuff up. No. I had to bag it.
Yeah.
And it was 6 33-gallon trash bags full of just clippings. And I'm like, I told you about the dump that I can't take it to, but it's the closest dump. And I'm like, I'm not paying $98. And I told them, I'm like, if you want me to take this and haul it somewhere, it's going to be $98.
On top of the 120?
On top of the 120. And they're like, no, we'll just throw it away in our trash. Like, all right. So I piled it up on the side of their garage, and I'm like, it was a 55 plus neighborhood, and I'm like, those bags are heavy.
Yeah.
So every week, because they signed up weekly for, I think it was 45 a week. And this year, yeah, it's still 45 a week this year. But every week I was there, I'd throw one bag, because they didn't want me collecting clippings every time. It was just that first cut. So for like the next 6 weeks, I was there throwing bags. I came on the day before trash day, and they would put their trash in there for the week, and it was usually just one bag if it's just two people living there.
Yeah, especially older community. Yeah. They don't typically
so they had one bag, so I would like throw 2 bags of clippings in there. And
so it would just be sitting in the back of your truck, or
no,
like on the side of your house?
On the side of their house.
Oh, on the side of their house. Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
I'm not putting it at my house and then hauling it back. Like,
well, I mean, because, I guess if the bags are sealed, it's not going to smell too much.
It still stinks.
Yeah.
Because where they're tied at, there's moisture getting in, and the grass was getting watered at, like, I think it was still getting watered every day. So it was wet, heavy grass getting sealed in these bags, so it was going to smell regardless. And they wanted me to originally put it in their garage, and I said, you don't want it in there, trust me. Like, it's going to smell. And after like the second day, they're like, okay, good call, because they would walk out and do stuff around the house. Yeah.
What's that smell?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bags of trash or
I
grass.
Have just a trash can. Like when I do odd jobs, I'll bring a trash can like the one I'm doing tomorrow for the pampas grass. I just have a trash can with a bag in there, and I have nothing in that bag, but the bag is just empty in there already, and it still smells. I'm like, there's nothing in there. Like, yeah, grass clippings used to be in there, but not in this bag. Like, it's a fresh bag, but it still smells.
Yeah, those smells stick with you.
Yeah.
On shoes, clothes, skin.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Just like, oh.
Sometimes you get in your truck or your house or whatever, and you're like, you catch a whiff of something, and you're like,
yeah, it's you too.
Nothing's on me.
Like, especially like my parents don't leave the house really, so it's like if anything smells out of whack, it's me. It's not them. So.
Yeah. All right, so I guess first we're going to. I wanted to ask you, how was last year for you, being your first time full-time working by yourself?
Last year, I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun. I talked to a lot of my customers, because a lot of them are in that 55 plus, and they don't have anybody else to talk to, so they always come out and talk to me. And so I would always, I knew which ones were the talkers, and I would do those last. Yeah. So then I could just sit there and talk. But it was great. I loved my customers for the most part. There was a few, probably like 4 out of the 45 that I didn't like, and I don't have them anymore this year.
When you were out there talking with them, would they bring you like lemonade, ice cold lemonade, or water, or whatever?
Gatorade, water, soda, beer. They knew. They're like, we know that it's your last stop, because I told them, I'm like, I'm going to come here last every day. After you give me a beer once, I ain't going to do the rest after having a...
Yeah, you remember Wayne.
Yeah.
I used to work with him, and gosh, it was, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. There was this one lady we would do on Friday mornings, right around maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. But she got into the habit of leaving a cooler out with ice and ice cold beer.
Oh, nice.
And, we'd like do her lawn and...
Crack a cold one.
Yeah, crack a cold one, and, just chill there for 30, 45 minutes or whatever, because, you don't want to drive or operate heavy
You don't
machinery.
Want to chug the beer.
Yeah.
One.
But, I mean, if during the heat of the day in the summer, if you're not eating much and you're not drinking much, like a little beer can go a long way.
So when you're out there, do you eat while you're working?
I typically don't.
Okay.
And that's just because
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's just me, because it's like, okay, I can tolerate not eating all day and then get home.
I'm not hungry. It's just when I eat and I'm working, I feel like it sits heavier in my stomach if I'm working.
All right, full disclosure, the true reason why I do not eat is because after I eat, I almost always have to take a crap.
Yeah. No,
and I don't want to do that.
I'm the same way. I got gut issues.
So yeah, if you guys are listening to this or watching it, does that happen to you, or are we?
I can drink all the water in the world, but once I eat something, I feel like it slows me down, like 100% slows me down. There's no way it doesn't. And it makes you feel terrible. So I save it. Yeah. Like, I bring food with me in case, like, it's to that point where it's like, sometimes, like, in the middle of the summer when it's really hot and you're still drinking water, but you're sweating it out just as fast as you're drinking it. Mm-hmm. Like, you start getting real dehydrated and you feel woozy. Well, usually you want to drink water and eat. So that's why I bring food with me. But now I'm just like, I'm just going to bust through all my lawns for the day. I don't have, there's only 2 days where I had like 10 plus lawns. The rest of them I was still filling up. And I had a lot of bi-weekly last year. This year, not so much. I sent out inquiry letters this year to all my previous customers, and I said, hey, this is what prices are. And I think the high price for bi-weekly scared them away and made them want to do it.
What was the price?
So let's say I had weekly was $40. Bi-weekly, you would think $80. I just said $70. And I was trying it. I was trying to see.
So you're about like 60-70% on top of the weekly.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, because it's not, some lawns don't grow as fast as others. So I was like, okay, can't really be like, oh, it's worth $80. Like, I would do it 40 weekly or 80 bi-weekly. Like, might as well just come weekly at that point. Mm-hmm. So there's some people that grass don't grow that fast, so I was like, okay, I'm not going to charge double what I would charge weekly. So I'd be like, okay, it'll be 40, but it's going to be 70 bi-weekly. And I think they see that high number and they're like, that's too much. So they went with the lower number, but it's making more money for me.
They went with you, but the weekly cut for 40.
Yeah.
So they're still paying more for 4 or 5 cuts a month.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that.
I don't know if that's what made them do is because they saw the $70 and they're like, that's a lot for.
Yeah, maybe they weren't too clear on like if.
But I wrote out there in the description, bi-weekly is this much.
Yeah.
Weekly is this much, and then I also had like my aeration, the liquid aeration prices, and then fertilizer prices.
Maybe it's something like, if you see something for $500 and then you see something for $499.99.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting such a great deal at $499.99. Yeah. Maybe that's kind of what they're.
I also did a trick with my fertilizer. Not sure if that's how I got so many people to sign up this year, but I did the price per application instead of what it would be for the year. Because last year I just did one price for the whole year.
Okay.
So this time I just did per application.
So how much would it be for like a year?
So.
Because you're doing it like monthly?
I'm doing it like every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm planning on doing it like 6 weeks right now, but some lawns might need it more depending. So I'm not good with pricing, so I'm still figuring it out. But there's some where, so let's say their mowing cost was $40. I'm using different fertilizer this year because last year's fertilizer was too darn expensive. I was trying to support a small business out in the town I live in and stuff, and it was expensive. It was probably $30 for a little tub for 1,000 square feet when I could go and get the cheaper stuff that covers 6,000 square feet for half the price. So that's what I'm doing this year. So I didn't charge as much because I was like, I need to make my money back last year. So I charged more. So I got 10% off of that guy's stuff, and I charged the extra 10% on the base price for it. So I was making 20% on it. And then I charged per application, added that in. And it was pretty pricey. Like, there was one guy, he had maybe 500 square feet front yard, and that was it. And he wanted fertilizer done. I think I charged him $250 for the whole year.
Jeez, that seems low.
Really? For 500 square feet? It's like you do like one circle around it?
I mean, I'm speaking from, being my first year, having the prices that I did, and then realizing of having a minimum.
Yeah.
And like anything that falls under that minimum, whether it's 1 square foot or, because my minimum covers up to 2,000 square feet.
Yeah. But there's not a lot of lawns in Castle Rock that are over 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, so I think, I don't want to tell you what to do.
No,
but, it's just like, kind of what Garrett was talking about in the last one about pricing matrix is, figure out what it is for your average size lawn.
Yeah.
And then, every 100 square feet or 500 square feet or 50 square feet, subtract some or increase some.
Yeah. And I try to be an honest guy. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to rip people off either. And I'm not saying people that have high prices are ripping people off, but it's like my internal, like, fight with myself, because it's like I had that 500 square foot front yard, just do the border and then the inside circle, and I was done. I'm like, I can't charge, more than $20 for this. Like, I'm there 5 minutes.
But see, and I think that's where your effective hourly rate comes into play, because if you count in your, your drive time, getting out, loading the fertilizer in the spreader or whatever, doing it, loading back up, driving on to the next one, if you're, it's only $20 or whatever, you got to know what your effective hourly rate is then. And I think that is probably more what determines.
Yeah, because
like
obviously you route like that house along with houses nearby, so it's not like you're driving just there and then across town to a different one. So it's like it was 2 houses down from a lawn I was already there doing. So it's like, sure, I'll do it. And I don't do it the whole year, because they vacation during the summer. They have a house.
They really have no idea what their lawn looks like.
Well, no, they do. So they live there during the winter, basically. They vacation probably half the year, 6 months out of the year. They go to Arizona. So
but during the summer, they don't really know.
Yeah, so he'll do it when they're home during the summer. So so this year they're leaving on the 1st of April. He called me. It's like, hey, we're leaving the 1st. Can you cut our lawn? We come back at the end of June. We'll let you know when we're back in town. And then we're leaving again in the beginning of August. So they're there for July. So he'll do it in July, and then I'll pick up again in August and finish out the year or whenever they get back. But so it's like they know how big the lawn is, but it's just $20 and I'm there doing it already. So I feel like it's an okay price for that size. Like, I literally spend 5 minutes there. That's getting there, unloading, mowing, trimming, and blowing, and getting everything back in. Like 5 minutes max. Well, because I would just walk my stuff up 2 houses, because that's my next lawn. So I don't know, but there's just a lot. I did raise prices this year
for everything.
Not everyone. For some people that I underbid.
But like on all your services.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the liquid aeration, that I started it just last fall. I didn't really I had like 3 people sign up, because a lot of people are like, what is it?
Yeah.
This year, I sent a video, like in an email to people with the link to explaining what it was.
What is that? Who did that video? Is it like a YouTube video?
Yeah, I don't remember whose video. I'd have to go back and find it. But
yeah, maybe go and find it, because maybe I can leave it in the link in the description.
Yeah, somebody did a test where they did regular core aeration on half their lawn, and then they did the liquid aeration. But before they did that, they tried to pull plugs with a manual aerator to show how deep they could get each side, and they were both the same. It was like maybe a 1/4 inch. And then he aerated it differently on each side, watered it in and stuff, and then he went and no, he didn't water it in. He had his sprinklers go off like 2 days later, and he went out and put plugs, the manual plugs again, and they're both the same. Like, they both took like 3-inch plugs. So he's like, it's basically the same results. Like, it doesn't matter which one you do. Like, they both lead to the same thing. So it was just a video showing people like, hey, you think that it's just a gimmick because I'm just coming out spraying some humic acid or whatever on your lawn.
That smells horrible. Yours
but
smells
you dilute
horrible, right?
it so it doesn't smell that bad. And I try not to sit there and like whiff it.
Well, so the funny thing is, when I first got it, I thought it smelled almost kind of earthy, chocolatey.
Yeah. Did you get the Yard Mastery, the NEXT?
No, I got some. I got essentially the same thing that I can get from like a Site One, but I found it on Amazon, and it was like twice as cheap.
Yeah.
But the guy who was working for me, I was like mixing some that morning because we're gonna mow and I was gonna spray some. And he's like, "Oh man, that smells horrible. It smells like fish guts." Now all I can smell I can't smell the earthy
No.
chocolate anymore. All I smell is like fish
I hope
guts.
that doesn't change how it smells for me, because it doesn't smell. I got the Yard Mastery stuff, the NEXT.
Maybe.
But
maybe
how
it's
much did
different.
you buy? Like,
It was
how
it was
big
like
of
a
container?
5-gallon jug.
Oh wow!
And
how much was that?
I want to say maybe $80.
Wow. Okay.
And I use anywhere between like 3 if the lawn is really needs it, I'll do 5 or 6 ounces per gallon.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a normal application, I'll do 3-4 ounces
'cause
per
I think
gallon.
they say 3 to 6 ounces, right? Like 6 is the max that you can.
Well,
they
from
tell
what
you.
I read, it
Yeah.
was 6 if the lawn is like
Okay.
yellow and is really struggling.
Yeah. Like I said, I only had 3 people sign up to do that last year, so I was like, I'm just going to charge them what I charged them for the core aeration, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to charge. So this year, I'm like, it's less strain on the body for one.
Yes. And
I mean, you
quicker.
have that riding aerator now. Are you still going to use it for people that don't
for
wanna sign-
core aeration, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to use it every chance I get.
Okay. So I'm like, you got that. Like, did you get that last spring or fall?
I got it. I rented it.
In the spring, and then you ended up buying
Well,
it.
and then I rented it in the fall, and then when I got done with it, I was like, "Hey, are you guys selling this?" And they're like, "Yeah," because I wanted to buy it in the spring, but they were asking like $9,600 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I can't afford that right now."
Yeah.
And then I asked him in the fall, and the guy was like, "Okay, yeah, we'll sell it to you for $6,300." I'm like, "Okay, I'll make that
Sold.
up." I'll make
Yeah.
that up this spring in aeration alone.
And so I bought the backpack sprayer from Site One, and I bought the liquid aeration. I forget exactly how much. I had the receipt at home somewhere, but it's like 2 big old not gallons, but like they're heavy jugs, and it's gonna last me way longer than it needs to.
What did you buy?
The Yard Mastery liquid aeration.
Oh, okay. The
So I
actual
bought
chemical or whatever.
Yeah, so I got that. But I bought that. I think it's 5 gallons, but I spent, with shipping and all that, it was like $120 for that stuff. And then the backpack sprayer was like 200 something. I think I added it up and it came out to just under $400 for all that, and I'm already going to make it back.
Mm-hmm.
Just spraying what I have signed up from what I did last fall with the 3 I did last fall, and then what I have already signed up.
What do you have already signed up?
I only have 7, 8 people signed up for it, but I'm like, they signed up for spring and fall. So
The cool thing about the liquid aeration is you can do it
monthly.
every single month, and it's actually most beneficial when you do it during the heat and drought stress parts of the summer.
yeah, a lot of people are out doing the core aerations right now, and I'm like, well, one, you have to water this stuff in because it's an acid. Yeah, you dilute it a little bit, but you still want to water it in.
Yeah.
So nobody has sprinklers on yet. It's still cold. We might get snow on Sunday, Monday. So
Yeah, rain tomorrow and Thursday, and
hopefully it
maybe
doesn't
some
mess
snow.
up my flight. I come in Monday morning.
I don't think it will.
I
Maybe.
hope it doesn't.
We'll see.
Because I could still do all my snow removal Monday when I get home.
There you go.
Because it's supposed to be like Sunday night into Monday morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get in to Denver at 7 a.m. So, like, I should.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, no kidding. But the pricing, I need to work on that. I don't know what to charge. Like I said, I have the internal battle with myself about overcharging. So I did, if mowing was 40, the aeration was 60. I just added $20 onto it. So if it was like that 500 square foot, he signed up for it. And since it's mowing is 20, aeration was 40.
Okay.
So, and a lot of people signed up with it, and they signed up for both spring and fall. So that's at least 2 guaranteed services.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that way you can possibly count on that income.
So I don't have to worry about trying to sell it in the fall to existing customers. When I get new customers, I'll have to try to sell it to them. But it's just hard because a lot of people don't know liquid aeration, and they're used to the core aeration. That's what they want to do, and they don't want to stray away from it. And I get it. Like, I can't blame you, but I'm just not going to offer it.
Yeah, I think I have 5 or 6 liquid aerations so far.
And what did you charge for?
So my minimum for liquid aeration is 90. It's 45 per 1,000 square feet. And like, I'll be honest, I have no idea if that's high or low.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, hey, this is what I think might work.
Would you charge for regular aeration on those lawns? Are they lawns that you've done before, like aeration?
There's because I really want to push the liquid aeration because I think a lot of people in Denver County especially, are more conscious about their water use, because, we have water issues here in Colorado. Yeah. And a lot of people in Denver just, they don't want to, they want to conserve water, which, I understand.
I get it.
I'm with it too. And plus, I'm also trying to sell it because, you're not using a big heavy machine on someone's yard, putting all this CO2 in the atmosphere. You're using something that's like organic, completely organic, kid, pet friendly, safe. Yeah. All that good stuff. So yeah, $90 minimum. And I think my biggest one is $130.
Wow. Either I'm charging way too little or you're charging way too much.
Well, and like I said, I have no idea if that's high or if that's low.
I don't either.
But it's I look at it as kind of like it's a specialty service. It's like it's something that you're gonna have to pay a premium on. Yeah. And especially with the way inflation is, especially in Colorado, and the cost of living. It's just getting more and more expensive to live here. It's like, I got to do that too. Yeah. Like, I got to make money. Yeah, if I have a guy with me this year, like I got to pay him. It's like it's not just me and, my daughter that's, relying on me to, make money. It's, someone else too.
Yeah, so. I can get that. I know a lot of the big, like Lawn Doctor and places like that do fertilizer, like spray fertilizer, they now do the liquid aeration like as their aeration now instead of coming by with the core aeration. They only do liquid. So I tried to go to their website and see like what facts they have so I could like kind of copy and paste it, but also learn because I don't know how to sell it to people. Yeah. So I know that you can do this liquid aeration on top of fertilizer, granular or spray on fertilizer, whatever. And it's safe, like it's not going to disrupt it. So that's cool. I'll probably do both. Like I know a lot of people have already started doing some fertilizer because some people like to get one done in March. And I'm like, don't you have to water that stuff in?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to. I've read that right? If it's left on the lawn and it's not starting to break down because of water, the sun and the UV can actually start breaking it down into like salts or something like that. And when it starts breaking those salts down and getting into the root, the upper part of the grass plant, it can start burning that out, and then you're gonna have a yellow lawn in the spring when all the other lawns around you are,
because I haven't done anything yet. I've sold a bunch of stuff, and I've gone and I picked up 2 40-pound bags of fertilizer already. I just did that yesterday. I had to call around to a couple places because I was looking for a specific one, and there was nothing that I found online, like from the actual manufacturer's website saying in my town that they sold it. But luckily I called.
What's the brand?
The Rich Lawn.
There's no place around you?
Well, no, they have Rich Lawn, but I was looking for specific. I was looking for the Pro Rich. They come in 40-pound bags instead of buying the 25-pound bags.
Yeah. Then there's none.
They have the 25-pound bags. They just.
But not the 40-pound?
No.
There's a big toolbox down in Parker. Did you try that?
They have it there, yeah. But I was trying to find something close by.
Oh, okay,
I found the Ace / more lumber down. It's like hidden in Castle Rock, like it's not real big. It's a tiny little spot, and it's got a big lumber yard next to it, but it's the Ace Hardware with some parts and stuff. I called them. I was like, hey, can you tell me, because I know the Ace, the big toolbox is the Ace, and I was like, hey, can you tell me if you have these? And they looked it up, and they're like, yeah, we have 2 bags, it says. Awesome. I'm coming right over. because I was at Lowe's checking out Lowe's because Lowe's sells it there, and they didn't have it. So I called them. I went right over. I grabbed those 2 bags. I couldn't find them at first. They still had it in the back. They hadn't put out any of their fertilizer yet. I was like, all right.
Did they have more than 2 bags, like a pallet?
No, they only had those 2 bags of the Pro Rich, but they had the winterizer bags there too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to buy those right now because those take up a lot of space. Like
they do. I have some on the side of my garage. It's like about 4 feet high.
It's not my house, not my garage. I can't fill up that garage. I already have 2 lawnmowers and a snow blower and 3 trimmers that don't get used.
Yeah.
It's just trimmers. Like my parents bought a trimmer for the house. It was an Ego because I still use Ego. So I was just like, okay, they have a battery, so I'm just going to use their battery. Since I'm mowing their lawn anyway, they're not going to use it. So I use their battery. I bought the Ego leaf blower. My neighbor actually just gave me an upgraded leaf blower, but it's Ego. He knows that I use it, so he gave me it because he does a landscaping company.
Does it take the same batteries?
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got a landscaping company, and one of his employees had bought it, and he had given his employee a gas one that he really liked instead of throwing it away or whatever. His employee was going to fix it, and he just gave my neighbor his Ego leaf blower, and my neighbor was like, I don't need this, so he just brought it over to me, and I'm like, it's more CFM. I'll take it because I think my current one was like 530.
Yeah, I think that video we did, I made mention of.
Oh yeah, you did.
You need some more CFM.
Yeah. This one's like 750. It's still not a lot compared. Like you get like way more.
Yeah, that's still,
but it's still
pretty comparable to some backpack. But
I'm like, the batteries last all day. Now I have an extra battery because it came with the battery too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I did want to switch to gas. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to switch to gas, but I was just like, I have all this stuff already. Why not just keep using it?
Yeah, it's hard to go from one ecosystem that you've invested in so much to another one.
And I like Ego stuff. It's just some of the gas stuff looks like it way better.
It is. I mean, it's powered by dinosaurs.
Well, like Cliff got an Echo trimmer. I forget. I think it was like
2620T.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he got that.
I picked up one in towards the end of the summer because they were having
that's what he did.
10 or 15% discount.
Was it up at Horizon? Yeah, because that's where he got his too. But he was up the street. Like there was one house that I had, and he had one house on the street up, but it was on a hill. So when he's in the backyard, I could see him up there while I'm in the front yard. And I saw him up there, and we like waved to each other. And he had just got it. And I texted him like, "Hey, when you're done with the lawn, come over here. I want to see that trimmer." I'm like, "It looks so nice," and it's not that heavy.
No, they're not.
And the electric stuff isn't as heavy. It's a little lighter, but those batteries are what weighs it down. So I could put a smaller battery in the trimmer and it would be lighter, but then it doesn't last as long. I have the small batteries in the leaf blower because I don't use the leaf blower as much as I use the trimmer. But it's just like, I don't know. It's the internal battle. I need to stop spending money all the time. I see something I like, I'm like, I'm getting it, and I go out and get it. Like I want to get the mower, the Turfmaster, or even the commercial Exmark 30, but I want the one with the Kohler engine on it. Do I know why? No, I just heard
because
a lot of people.
I did a review on the one with the Kawasaki, and I did not like the Kawasaki engine.
Did you do the review on? Didn't you do it on both?
No,
the Turfmaster.
No, the only one that I got mine at Horizon.
Yeah,
and they only had Kawasaki.
Yeah,
and the guy who sold it to me was like, "Oh no, stay away from Kohler." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh no, stick with Kawasaki." So I started using it. I'm like, I should have gone with Kohler.
So I have the Time Master, just the residential 30, but I use it for commercial. It has like a 223cc engine, and it's a decent engine. It feels like it's so bad with like real healthy thick grass. Like it does not do well, especially trying to cut it at 3 inches. And
do you have the mulching blades on it?
I do. It all clogs up on the underside of it, and it freezes up, shuts down. I have to flip it up and.
Well, I still do have that Turfmaster.
Yeah, but it's not Kohler.
It's not, but man, that thing was awesome.
But the Toro guy, because I had problems with the Time Master. I think I've mentioned it in the video. Yeah, the setup video.
The belts, right?
Yeah, the belts. But I was talking to that guy at the Toro dealer. I think it's over by your area. It's off of Jordan Road, I think. Arapahoe and Jordan, I think, somewhere over in that area.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
All Seasons, I think it's called. He was saying, go with Kohler. Kawasaki's terrible. Go Kohler. And then your Exmark guy saying the opposite. So I don't know who to believe. I just know that those Kohler engines look nice. If I'm going based off of how they look, it's Kohler all the way.
Yeah, next summer I definitely want to try the Kohler version.
I'm so tempted. I want to go up and get it. Like, I have one of my neighbors that pays me straight up for the whole season in cash. He's like, here you go.
That's nice.
I'm like, I want to take that and go get it. But I'm like, calm down. You didn't have that great of a winter. Like, you're behind on some payments. Like, go make those payments. Like,
yeah, I think that video I did with Garrett. He was talking about putting that money towards a mower, and if it aligns with your goals, then yeah, buy that piece of equipment. It's a
tax write-off too. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing for first full-time year. Any of you first full-time years, taxes scare the crap out of me, dude. Like, I was going to try to do it myself because I've always just used, like, TurboTax because I never had my own business. I was just working a corporate job. They send you a W-2. It automatically puts it in there, and you're good. Like, you didn't really have to do much. But now I'm like, I was going through TurboTax, like, trying to input, like, from Jobber. I got, a tax form of 1099 and stuff. I was trying to put it all in. It's like, all right, so how do I do my deductions now? And I go in, and I'm looking at the deductions, and I'm like, I did not categorize my receipts very well compared to that. So I'm looking at...
Do you use, like, QuickBooks Online or something?
So I tried to use QuickBooks, and I was having issues with my bank account staying connected to it because every time I closed the app and went back into it, I had to reconnect my bank account. So anytime I tried to take a picture of the receipt, it'd be like, okay, what account did it come out of? On QuickBooks.
When it's supposed to do it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, reconnect your account. So I have to reconnect my account, and then I go to take a picture. And then, okay, I take a couple pictures, and I have those receipts. But then randomly just disconnect. So then it lose everything. So I'm just going to keep track of my mileage on QuickBooks. That's what I did. But I hired someone to do my taxes this year. I don't know if it's expensive. My dad says it's expensive. $500. Is that expensive to have someone do your taxes?
For a business?
Yeah.
I don't think that's expensive at all.
Okay, cool.
$500 for an individual? Yeah, that's expensive. But no, I think for a business,
that's not a lot.
Yeah, because I can't remember how much I paid, but I think last year, the previous years, it was like $500-$600 for taxes.
And this guy, he sent me 3 pages to fill out.
Yeah.
Just general information, questions, yes, no, if yes, what happened or whatever. And then all he has you do is the way he does it with, like, the receipts and stuff is, like, if you kept track of it and on a spreadsheet, just send him the spreadsheet, like, have it categorized on the spreadsheet. Just upload it, but keep all your receipts on hand because if they
audit you,
you need to have proof.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need the proof.
Yeah.
He's basically trusting you that you're not trying to, fraudulently launder money, I guess. I don't know. But
well, just like oh, I'm like buying this laptop, it's like I'm doing it as a business write-off because I don't use it outside of, doing stuff for.
But he also gave me a mileage app to use instead of QuickBooks.
Is it like Mile IQ or something?
Exactly. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, the yearly plan is like $60. You're going to make that back within a week of actually mowing with all the traveling that you're doing. I'm like, cool. Because he told me, I told him what I made from, like, all my credit. my credit cards. Like I told him that, and I was like, but it doesn't show the cash or checks that people mailed, because a lot of people, like I said, I have the 55 plus, they don't like having credit cards on file. But I trust them all. Like they are all always out there. Like right when I showed up, before I even cut, they're like, here's your check, here's your cash, here's that. It's like they paid right before I even sent the invoice. They would hand me a check. I was like, cool. So it's like it didn't include any of that, and he's like, you don't have to claim any of that. Like, what do you mean I don't have to claim? He's like, it's like a gift. If it's cash or checks, say it's gifts. They're not going to know.
This is a special case for him. Always check your tax professional before.
I told him. I saved all the checks.
Well, I mean, if anything happens, like it's on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have people pay cash sometimes, and I'll pocket that. But when my first year, I had people pay check. I recorded it in Yard Book,
and I did too.
Yeah,
I recorded everything. Like when I
so it shows up as income.
Yeah, but when I got my tax form, none of the cash or checks amount was added into the total amount.
Yeah,
it was just a credit card
because you use Jobber.
Yeah,
and so the credit cards you do use, they have that record in a 1099K.
Yeah, and that's all I got. It didn't have any of the income from cash or check.
I mean, I guess they could, audit your bank account and see the
I don't know.
Deposits.
He told me it's nothing to worry about.
Nothing for you to worry about. It might be something for him to worry about
maybe.
if something comes back. But
and I told him, I was like, what about cash checks? Like I have the exact number. Like Jobber, you can look at the exact number of the total, and it doesn't match up to the 1099 they sent me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's just from credit cards. I'm like, okay, but what about this? Like, a couple $1,000. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. So we're obviously approaching, or actually tax season just wrapped up for like businesses or something. It was like March 15th, I think. I think it was a month
They
early.
haven't filed mine yet.
Oh.
I contacted them last week.
So, we're getting ready to, gear up into the 2023 season. Compared from this point, compared to last year, what are things looking like? Are you in a better position now than you were last year?
Mentally, yes. I got rid of some customers. I just straight up dropped them. I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be able to service your property this year. Sorry. Here's
like what was your reasoning behind it?
They didn't pick up their dog poop.
Okay.
I would tell them every week.
That's good.
Hey, I'm like, you need to pick up your dog poop. I texted you the day before I was going to be there every single week. I said, please pick up dog poop.
Yeah. Don't put up with that.
And I charged them like anytime that I, was there, I charged them extra. I told them it was going to be extra.
How much did you charge them?
$25.
Whoa. I'm at like, I think last year I was at 15. Now I'm 18.
I was just hoping that it would deter them from
you would
not
think
picking, but I guess they were okay with it. So I got rid of people for that. And then there were some lawns like I could get back there fine. The mower. So one guy's lawn is like literally on a 45-degree angle hill going down to get there. But then he doesn't have any steps to get down the 2-foot drop onto, or not 2 foot. It's like at least a foot. It's like maybe a foot and a half. It's steep. Like you're not going to just take a riding mower down that. Like, and I'm taking my Time Master down it, and I could take it off the edge, get the front wheels on the ground, and the back wheels will still be up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But then getting it back up the hill, because even the backyard's on that hill, trying to push it up, even though it's self-propelled, it's not going to go up.
Yeah, because you're in a hilly area with a lot of people don't have pathways, or if they do, they're like steps or rocks or something, right?
Yeah. But this guy, he had concrete all the way down onto a new patio down there, and then at the very end, he had 2 steps, but the steps are like maybe 6 inches wide, and I'm like, I can't get a mower up and down those. Like I could get it down those, but getting it up those, no. So what I had to do is go up some rocks, and I was able to get the front wheels of the Time Master on the top of it, and I'd have to lift the mower up and push it at the same time to get it onto the ledge. And I was like, it was a pain in the butt, man. I was like, I cannot do this every day. Now I have a herniated disc in my back. Like I can't sit there every day or every week and do it.
Yeah, those are yards that I despise during the week, during the mowing season. Mm-hmm. But then when it's like the day after, I forget about it. Yeah. Until I show up the next week and I'm like,
I still am doing this?
Like I'm not really doing that. Yeah. But I'm cursing under my breath like, oh man, I need to drop this customer. I hate this yard. Yeah. It's not worth it.
And they're really nice people. And
they all are.
So they were. But
you just say they're nice people in case someone might be watching.
Yeah, totally, because they're gonna find me. I did actually have one person who watched my setup video with you when they were hiring me to do snow removal.
I think you
They're like, how do you know Lawn Care Ninja? I'm like, I met him on YouTube. Like, that's how I found him. No, I go, when, everybody in that neighborhood in the 55 plus, they were referring me, they just Googled my name and their video came up.
Nice.
So they watched the video. It's just, older couple just watching the video because they wanted to see who I was, I guess. But they found your video. But that was funny.
I should get a commission.
I guess.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, I shovels for them, 4 times, I think.
Well, actually, Garrett's going to give me like a $50 gift card for every referral I give to him this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
I've already sent two people's information, or I sent his information to 2 people.
But how is he going to know?
Well, he's like, so I told him like, yeah, let Augusta Lawn Care, Glendale know that Lawn Care Ninja referred you, and if they don't, I still have their information. Yeah. I can just say, like, I'm going to come up with a spreadsheet with their name and number, and then he can go at the end of the month. But yeah, I didn't ask him to, but he was just like, yeah, this like.
How many employees does he have now? I forget.
2 or 3. I think he has.
That dude is 2. Just blowing up. He is so smart, man.
He's got Mike Andes and Augusta Lawn Care behind him, like.
I wish I was his age and where he's at, like, now.
Yeah. I wish I would have started, 15 years ago myself.
Because, man, this winter was rough. Gained so much weight sitting at home doing nothing. Seriously, like, we had that one big snowfall, and I made a lot of money from that. I think it was, like, there was drifts that were higher than my snowblower. The 821. They're higher.
Yeah, than Toro 821 RC is what.
There were some drifts that were taller than that. It was a rough night because it didn't stop until 5-6 p.m. and I went out and I had.
Oh yeah, that's the one we got in December, right? Yeah, it was like a March snowstorm in December.
It was either late December or early January. I forget exactly, but
I think it was in December because I remember doing a video on that. Like, oh my gosh, like this doesn't happen.
It was rough, dude.
It was heavy, wet.
I left my house at 6 p.m. and this was the first time I actually used the snowblower because everything else was under 4 inches. Mm-hmm. And I was just shoveling that because it was just, you get the little plow shovels and they just glide right off. And it was nice. I didn't have to like scoop or anything really. I just pushed it all the way. But first time using the snowblower, and I was like, thank God I have this.
How did it work for you?
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
My recommendation on it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I loved it too.
Because I was like, I was looking at so many videos of it. Like I saw your video. I think there was, even Brian's Lawn Maintenance uses them.
That's how I found out about mine.
Phil's Lawn Care. I don't know if you watch his stuff. FIL.
I know who he is. Yeah. I don't.
He went to Trailerless Setup with Ramp Rack and all that this year.
Okay,
He just started releasing videos of setting all that up on his truck. And I commented, I was like, hey, you might want to cut some bars. And it looks like he did. In his newest video he put out today, they weren't cut yet. But he just posted pictures on Instagram of everything done, and they're cut. So I was like, thankfully he cut them. Because they were hanging like a foot off of the bed of the truck. And he's like, well, the ramp rack's going to sit about a foot off the bed anyway. But it's like, yeah, but it looks kind of bad. In my opinion, it looks bad. And at the same time, it could be a safety thing. Like,
Yeah, I think there was one or two comments recently too on the video I did with you where they were asking, like, "Hey, how did you cut the stuff or whatever?"
I had one guy. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. One guy texted me.
Yeah, you did from that video.
Yeah, from that video. I don't know if he saw my phone number on the truck because it was there's like a real crappy decal.
He had to have,
or if he like Googled me and found my phone number and texted me. But I just woke up and I was like, oh, that's weird. But I responded. I sent him links and I told him what I did. And he's like, hey, thanks. And I haven't heard from him. So it's not some creep, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Like, first time having a video of me out there on the internet. And then.
Yeah, I mean, my number's, plastered on my truck, and I don't think I've had any.
That's why I have two phones now. I'm like.
So going back to what we were kind of talking about from this year compared to last year, do you think you're in a better position this year than you were last year?
So a lot of the stuff that I learned was that I set the prices. I had a lot of people trying to, barter with me about prices, like going lower. Even this year, I sent out those inquiries, and people were like, hey, I've already had quotes from other businesses that will still do it for $20 or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Because it was just a small front yard, and I was like, $20, I'm there for 5 minutes. And they're like, will you do that? I raised it to 25 or whatever. And they're like, I've got quotes. I'm like, no, sorry, I can't. And they're like, okay, I'll let you know. And then I see them on Facebook 2 days later. Hey, anybody know any lawn care?
They message. Oh, they're messaging.
Looking for lawn care companies because they told me they already had quotes, but then they're out there looking for lawn care companies. So I think they were just trying to get me to go lower, and they didn't actually have quotes. So there was like 3 of my customers on that same page, or like same posts on Facebook. It was the neighborhood that I live in.
You saw that post I made on Instagram, right, about that guy talking me down from 40 to 38, and then
adding. I commented on that.
Like
adding more work. He talked you down, and then added more work to it.
Yeah.
What'd you do with him?
He actually said that he's going with someone else, and I'm like, okay, so I'm keeping them as a customer. I was like, if they fail to meet your expectations, or they're just not working out for you, let me know. And when he comes back, his price is going to be like $46.
Yeah, like
you should have locked it in when I gave you the price. But
yeah, that was the big thing. It's like I had a few people that was like, and I get it. Like it sounds like so there was the people last year that got me for lower. It was a lot of I was just trying to get people to sign up with me. So I was like, sure, that's fine. I would quote them like 45, and they're like, how about 35? I'm like, sure, whatever.
Well, and I think that's what you do if it's like your first year and you're trying to build a customer base and route density. Like just take what you can, and then, you'll just kind of worry about that.
But then the first day you mow it, you're like, dude, this is worth more than $35. Like I was dreading that lawn every week, and you did it as the first lawn every day. I was like, get it out of the way. Because
I want to show you my effective hourly rate calculator.
All right.
Because I think once you start looking at that, your efficiency score every single day, you're either going to be like, whoa, I'm making a lot of money, or, oh my gosh,
if I could just input all the pricing and everything, and it'll show up, that's fine. But if I'm trying to go out and quote somebody, I'm like, I don't know how long. So this guy that the $35 guy, he had a huge front yard. He lived on a corner, or the end lot, but his street went into a cul-de-sac. So he had that whole peninsula was his property, and it was huge. And that's what I quoted because I didn't see his backyard. Because I was just doing it on the phone because I was I was antisocial, didn't want to go out and meet people. And I learned my lesson. Now I go out and check out everybody's lawn.
You use Google Satellite?
Google Earth, yeah.
Google Earth.
And they had, the neighbor's tree was blocking the whole backyard.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't tell. It didn't even look like there was a backyard. So I was just like, okay, there's probably a backyard, but it doesn't look like it's big. Well, the backyard was just as big.
As the front?
Yeah. It's like, all right, definitely underbid this one. So I raised his price, hasn't heard back. He was in that Facebook post looking for other lawn care providers, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let people determine my prices this year. Like,
so you got him at 35 last year. He's not a customer this year.
So far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that video where I watched you cut that lawn, I was surprised at how big that backyard was.
Yeah.
Like the front yard wasn't anything too big.
Yeah.
But then it's like you went into the backyard and it was bigger than the front.
And they just put all that grass in the year before in the fall. So I had it all year. Like, it barely grew in. What they told me is that they got it in at the end of fall. New sod and everything, and they watered it for 2 weeks and then shut off their sprinklers, and then I picked it up the next. Well, I have already done the front, but then they added that, and I forgot what I was charging them, but I raised that, and I was like, yeah, this isn't worth it. That wasn't the 35. I think I was charging them 40, and I raised theirs to 50, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So are you going to be still going full time this spring?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go back to corporate job. After having freedom like this, I don't want to go back. But yeah, it's going to be a little rough. Like, so the one neighborhood, I'm trying to do route density, and I always bring it up, that 55 plus neighborhood. I'm trying to mail flyers out, but their mail route doesn't show up on USPS's website yet, because it's still being built.
For like the EDDM?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because I still have a bunch of those flyers to mail out, like labeled for EDDM. So I was like, I need to use these. I want to use these.
Mm-hmm.
But the mail route up there doesn't show up, so I can't. So I'm like, okay. They don't allow people to go door-to-door soliciting up there.
Oh, I was just about to suggest. It has the I have a link for the instant quote.
And I wanted to just do door hangers, because I'm like, oh, I'm not knocking on their doors. Can I just hang something on their doors? Because so Castle Rock has a no-knock solicitor list, and you can sign up. You pay like $25. You get a sticker to put in your window, and if anybody comes and knocks on your door trying to sell you something, you can call the cops on them and get them kicked out of the neighborhood.
Wow.
They have that down in Castle Rock.
So you kind of have to do EDDM, or they have to see your truck already servicing a property.
And luckily, I already have like pretty much half the residents up there, because like I said, it's being built. They maybe have like a fourth of it done up there, and they've been building all winter. So I'm like, cool. There's more people moving in. I'm sure I'm going to get some referrals here, but I haven't gotten calls, and that's like stressing me out, because I want to get these customers signed up now so I can get scheduling ready.
Yeah.
Because I know I was up there on Tuesdays last year. I'm still going to stay up there on Tuesdays. But I dropped all of Castle Pines. I had 4 people in Castle Pines. I didn't really get along with one of them. One of them moved, so I lost them. So I only had 2. I'm like, it's not really worth driving up to Castle Pines to do that. So I'm just going to focus on the neighborhoods I'm already in.
Yeah, that's smart.
But I don't need to mail out flyers in my neighborhood, because they have the Facebook page, and I'm a part of that, and I can advertise on that on Sundays. They only let you do it on Sundays. So I can advertise on that. And that's what I've been doing. But it's just it's the stress of, like, I want to get at least 60 customers.
How many do you have right now?
Right now, that's signed back up.
Yeah.
Probably 20. So I have only
Seems like a big hill to climb.
Yeah. I only sent out those letters, the inquiry letters, to 31 of the 45 that I did last year, because there were some people that moved at the end of the year, and they told me, like, hey, I'm moving. I'm not going to be here anymore. I drove by their house the other day, and I saw that the for sale sign was still up. So I mailed them an inquiry letter. It's like, okay, so they haven't sold their house. They planned on it. I don't know if they're still there or not, or if it's just sitting empty and they actually moved already. So I just sent a letter.
Yeah, I mean, may as well if they need someone.
So I sent out like 31 letters.
Okay.
Actually, all my neighbors, I do my neighbors in my little cul-de-sac too. So I didn't send them letters, but they all signed back up, and it's 1, 2, 3, 5 of my neighbors. 5 out of 6, 7 neighbors. So I got like my whole neighborhood basically.
How many did you end the season with?
Last year it was, so I ended with 46 on schedule. Yeah.
Okay.
But I had others that moved during the year that would have stayed on the whole time. So I had like 55 people total that I serviced for last year, and there was 9 people that moved.
So you're not far off from that 60 goal going back to your numbers from last year. It's just that people aren't responding.
Yeah.
And that, like, hey, I'm going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I switched from Yard Book to Copilot. Mm-hmm. And like the first like couple weeks I was with Copilot, I was trying to get everything like figured out, situated, learn a new system. Mm-hmm. I sent out stuff at the beginning of March, and like no one was responding until like the middle of last week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm going out of business this year. It was concerning. Even right now, like I have less than half of my customers that I did last year.
Yeah. And what I'm afraid of is that, you know, most of my customers, I stayed the same price. There was only a few that I raised it on. It wasn't a lot of them. So I was like, okay, you know, I had some people that were like, yeah, you know, there was one guy that was real honest with me. He was one of the first people.
I think you told me about this.
One of the first people that I had up in that 55 plus. And I was like, I know this is a good spot. Uh-huh. So it's like 55 plus, a lot of older people can't do it or just don't want to do it because they're retired and they would rather do other things. It's like, cool. I quoted him like $35, but his lawn I was like double cutting because it was growing so fast. And he had told me, I think it was like after doing it for like a month or two, there was one day where it grew so fast. I don't know why, but he was out there talking to me and he was watching me and stuff because he's sitting on his patio with, smoking a cigar. He's like, yeah, I bet you wish you charged me a little more there, don't you? I was like, yeah, honestly, I probably should have. And he's like, yeah, you probably should have.
Did you ever increase his price last year?
No, he was too honest with me. I couldn't do it. I did this year, and he took it. So
so 35?
It was 35. I went up to 45.
That's not bad. Do you think it'll be worth it this year for 45?
Yeah, it'll be fine because I'm gonna get that new mower eventually. I don't know when, but I'm getting it. I know I'm getting it.
Yeah, but that's cool. So what does this year look like for you? You already mentioned, you want to get up to 60. Mm-hmm. Do you think you can handle all those 60 by yourself? Or are you looking to maybe bring someone part-time?
Yeah, so the lawns are pretty small. I think you have a lot of bigger lawns up here, I feel like. The houses are smaller and the lawns are bigger up here.
Yeah, like for the most part in the area that I do it like most yards fall within 2,000 square feet.
I don't know if you have it up here really because it's city, but we have a lot of ranch style houses down in Castle Rock.
Those are more in the suburbs.
Yeah, so it's just single level houses, but they're bigger, so they take up more of the lot. So you don't have as big of lawns, but when you have the 2-level, 3-level houses,
4-level, or 3-level with a basement.
Yeah,
that's selling for $5 million.
Yeah, gotta love the real estate.
No joke. There's a house down the block down like 3 houses from a house I do, and I saw that it was for sale, and I went on Zillow, and it was like for $5 million.
I believe it,
and I'm like, holy crap!
I believe it. There's somebody. The lady I'm doing the project for tomorrow, she just moved into this house. I went on Zillow to look at pictures of it because she had told me, when I sent out the inquiry, she sent me it back because it said fill out address and stuff, and she said it's a new house or a new address. So I went on Zillow, looked it up because I have pictures on there and I can see everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it. She bought it for like $800,000. But I was scrolling through the history, and they had tried to sell it at the beginning of last year for $1.2 million. Didn't sell, took it off the market, and she ended up getting it at the end of last year
for $400,000.
Yeah, less
cheaper
than what they originally listed it for.
I mean, I'm sure they probably
it's
the people
a nice
who
house.
How did it show how much it was originally sold for? Like
when it was first built?
Yeah.
I'm sure I could look that up. So
probably
I did see one
250
price on there, which was kind of weird, is that it said it sold for like $100,000. I don't remember what year, but it said it was like $100,000. But then the next time it sold, it was like $500,000 or whatever.
I mean, that probably makes sense if it was like a, because it's a newer style, right?
5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's a nice house. Doesn't have a lot of like land, and she only has a back alley where her garage is. That's the only way in. So her front door is facing an open space, natural area with a walking path. So they have a sidewalk in front of their house, no grass up there, but it's like you have to walk up a flight of steps to get to her front door. So it's in a nicer area, but it's just, she has a small backyard. I'm like, okay. She had a small front yard at the other house, and now she's got a small backyard. So it's like, okay, not a big deal. Same price as last year. It's $25 because, I'm a nice guy. I feel like I should raise it, but at the same time, like, it feels like that's enough for me. Like, I'm not trying to be the $20 guy, but if it's front and back, it's a minimum of at least, like, depending on the size, it could range from $35 to $45.
Yeah, I think it just really boils down to, like, what your goals are as, like, where you want to be as a business and where you want to be personally.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fine, where you're at with the amount of money that you're making, then I guess you can stay there. But at the same time, like inflation, Colorado has one of the highest inflation rates in the country.
And that's why I raised some prices.
Well, I think if you're not raising everyone, well, I don't want to say what you shouldn't do.
No, I know.
But like, so for me, there were, quite a few people that I picked up mid to late summer. And I put that price thinking ahead of what I would charge in 2023. So that's what I had them at. And those people I did not raise my prices on because, I was forward thinking, like, I don't want them to be a customer for a month or two. And then, all of a sudden, they're paying $3-4 more next year.
Yeah.
So, that's what my thinking is. And, I think I raised people 7-8%.
And I mean, when people came back at me like this year and they're like, oh, would you do this instead? Like last year, like you were at $20 last year. Will you stay at that? And I'm like, no, I have to, because, I told them, I'm like, I didn't raise your prices last year because you locked it in at the beginning of spring last year. Like, to me, I feel like you can't, predict inflation and stuff, or like cost of everything going up and skyrocketing like it did. But at the same time, like, I felt like it was my responsibility to eat that, because you should plan ahead. Like you were saying, you planned ahead in case it kept going up this year. You already had them at that rate. But for me, I was like, all right, you signed up. You're already locked in. That's the price we agreed on. I'm not going to raise it for this year. Doesn't mean I won't do it next year. And that's what I did. I raised some people's prices this year. I didn't raise everybody's, because everybody's like, I felt like it's still a good number, because I'm not, as long as the route density is small enough and I'm not driving everywhere, I don't need to charge as much because I'm driving so much.
Well, you also, I think you also kind of have to look at it as, if you were to have 5 houses in a cul-de-sac, and then one person goes, and then another person goes, and then another person goes, and then another person goes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now you're left with just one.
Yeah.
And then you have to fill all that other, those 4 that you lost, and you either need to pick up those 4 you lost, which might not happen, or you need to find those in another area.
Yeah, but
so
I have them at a higher price and not raise the price of my current. I just have them at a higher price than what I had my current one.
Well, but if you have those 4 and you're talking about route density, and you take that route density away, then all of a sudden now you're left with this odd one.
Yeah.
Like there was one lady, she wanted me to do her lawn for it was my first or second year. She wanted me to do her lawn because I was like right across the street for cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like this is my minimum. This is, what it's going to be. And she's like, but you're already here. And I'm like, yeah, well, if I lose this one and I still have you, all of a sudden now you're at like a discounted price.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be losing money on that.
No, that makes sense.
But and I would also encourage you this year, if you need to increase your prices, like just because someone locked in a price, like did they sign a contract? Like this is.
I mean, I sent them quotes and they signed off on quotes.
Yeah, so it's not a contract. Like hey, this is your guaranteed price.
Yeah.
Like if you start using my efficiency score calculator and all of a sudden you're determining like, oh, Monday's a really bad day for you, either you need to increase your efficiency, which means get done quicker, increase your route density, which means adding more work onto your day, or increase your prices. I mean, honestly, seeing your effective hourly rate when you're like just what Garrett was saying, like, oh, I'm charging the customer $100 an hour. Okay, yeah, well, you're charging that, but Garrett, his first year, his effective hourly rate was $33.
Yeah,
and like that's that's pretty low.
I mean, my hourly rate was pretty high. I would run those lawns. I was just coming off working at the post office where I was walking all day. I was always fast walking. Like, I always walked fast. Now, I don't know. I probably slow down a little bit. I have to start going out for walks to get ready for the season or something. But
yeah, I've been setting my alarm for like 5:45 for the past 2 weeks.
I thought 7 a.m. was a little early for me already.
Well, for me, I just don't want to wake up and then like, oh, I have to get ready to go to work. Like, I want to, take some time in the morning.
Fair enough. Drink coffee, probably. I don't drink coffee, but I literally wake up, eat breakfast real quick, and I'm out the door. I don't drink coffee. I don't need energy drinks. Well, one, I try to avoid it because doctor told me with my hearing loss to avoid it, or else the ring in my ear is going to get louder. I'm like, I don't need that. So that's why I avoid that. But no, this year,
Are you going to wear eye protection this year?
Probably not. I'm not going to lie. I probably won't. I have it. I have it in my truck. I have ears and eyes. Don't wear either. I should. I know. It's just, it's one of those things. I just hate, like, even wearing these headphones. Like, I hate having over the ear. But I wear the hearing aids, so it's like I'd have to take that out. I have in the earplugs in. But then if somebody comes out and talks to me, I can't hear them.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to me. I'm just like, hold on, I'm hard of hearing. I have a hearing aid. Let me stop and go put it in. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I should.
Yes, you should.
There's a lot of things I should do, but I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear contacts. So they count as protection. Protection.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Since this is your second year, what's something that you wish now that you wish you would have known your first year, if you can think of something, or just maybe what's one piece of advice that you would give someone who's going into their first or second year? Be willing
to research and change things. That's my thing. Like I have a hard time like sitting in front of a computer and like I'll watch your videos.
Thank you.
I'll watch them, but I also just rather listen to some of them. Like I told you, I actually like listening to the lawnmower noise. Like so when you're just mowing and you're not really like showing things on the screen except mowing, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to everything you're saying. I'd rather listen, but it's like my mind, I can't focus on one thing for so long. Like podcasts, I'll listen to them. I can't, like the video with you and Garrett, I listened to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it. You don't need to watch the videos. Like you can listen to the audio.
Yeah.
But like when you're walking through, like saying like, oh, here's my spreadsheet. This is how I do it. Like that stuff. Like it's not that I lose interest. It's like my brain wants me to do like 5 other things at the same time.
I get
and I have
that.
a hard time just, okay, I need to focus on this. So I just give up on it. Don't give up on it. You need to, like, I should go back and try to watch all these again. And if you have the spreadsheets, I'll try to learn. I'm not good with spreadsheets. I'll tell you that right now.
They're easy. It's all you have to do is punch in your daily revenue and how many hours you worked, and it kicks out your efficiency score.
That should be fine as long as it's already pre-made and I don't have to make it.
It's
I literally any spreadsheet I need to make. My mom loves doing spreadsheets. I'm like, Mom, can you please make me a spreadsheet? I'm like, how do you even like get all the totals to add up at this end row here? Like you input numbers.
Dude,
here.
I was
Like, I can't
perusing so many like websites, learning how to do certain like formulas and functions.
Oh my Lord, dude,
I was on like Reddit, like asking questions.
I feel like you need a master's degree in mathematics or something for
you
this
do.
stuff.
It's tough.
It is.
And then sometimes you'll get like a reference number error or something. You're like,
I didn't go to college. I just say that right now. I graduated like C's. C student here. Maybe had an A here and there, but I wasn't an exceptional student. I planned on going to college, but then I moved out of state, and I was like, well, lost all my friends, all my interests, and now I'm just not going.
yeah.
So I'm not that smart. I'm smart on some things, like I can tell you some things, but not a lot.
Not a smart man, Jimmy, but I know what love is.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I feel. That's why I love watching that movie. I'm like, he gets me. But no, it's just you need to be willing to research things, I think, and that's my issue. Like I text with Cliff a lot, that Crystal Valley Lawn Care. I don't think he's been on a podcast or any videos yet, but he comes up here every so often. I text with him. He just started using Yardbook. And he's texting me all these awesome things he's doing on Yardbook about how it like can do auto quotes or something. Like you input what you want and it like measures lawns for you and stuff. I
Maybe that's something new. Like I said, I got rid of.
But he does
Yardbook.
spreadsheets and stuff too. I don't know how he does this all, but he's like saying all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but it sounds amazing. So keep going at it.
Does he have Android or Apple phone? Do you know?
I think he is Apple.
Okay. I don't know if he knows this, but let him know that they have a iPhone app.
Yeah.
And also there is a Facebook group for Yardbook users. I don't know if he's a part of it, but John Pajak, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He started the group, and he knows everything about Yardbook.
Yeah, he's been doing some sounds like he's doing some amazing things with Yardbook, because I'm like,
Yardbook's great for what it is.
So that's my other thing. It's like I tried to learn Yardbook, but there were so many features in there that's what deterred me. It shouldn't have, because Jobber took away some features for me now, and they want me to pay more money, like double what I'm paying now, to get those features back. Like auto bill. They took it away. You have to pay for the next plan up to get auto bill. So now every Friday I have to go in and invoice and collect.
Yeah, Yardbook has auto invoice, which was one of the greatest things in the world.
I always had to generate the invoice.
Yeah, you select your I bill weekly, and you do from Monday to Friday, and then you just click auto generate.
Yeah. Well, I think I do mine a little different. I do my invoicing once a month. I know a lot of people don't do it, but that's how I do it.
No, I've heard a lot more people I think do.
I wanted to switch to doing it like just after a visit, send them the invoice right away. But I just I don't know. I felt like it was okay with monthly. I might mix it up, and like some people that I signed up brand new this year, I might do like every other week.
I'll tell you this: when I first started, my biggest worry was cash flow.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to cut a lawn at the beginning of the month and then not get paid until the middle of the next month.
Yeah.
And like, okay, well, what am I going to do about paying myself, paying for insurance, paying taxes or fuel or whatever. Yeah. So that's why I decided on weekly.
Sense.
And like getting $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in my account every Friday was like, okay, yeah, I can pay myself. I can go buy a piece of equipment. I can pay for gas. I can pay my employee. Yeah. John Pajak, he does daily billing. At the end of the day, he does the auto invoice for Yardbook, and he charges the cards, and he sends the invoices.
Now that I think about it, it was auto invoicing and payment collection.
Yeah, I don't think they do automatic payment. They have the card on file.
If they had it signed up and selected that it would automatically take, it would do auto invoice and take payment for a jobber. But they took it away. I just found
Copilot has it. Copilot's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But
the thing with Jobber is, it's like they have, so like their pricing is set like, oh, this is for 1 user or 2 users or 5 users or more, and like you can add users. And I'm like, why not just offer it for everybody? Like, why do you have to have like?
Because it's where they make their money.
But they took away the auto billing.
It's where they make their money.
I'm like, why? I don't get it. They didn't add anything to my thing. They took something
inflation,
away.
The economy.
I don't know if it's inflation for them, but
well, I mean, labor costs, go up. So it's like, oh, we need to make more money, so we're gonna cut certain things, and then we're gonna put it.
I literally found out about it like 2 days ago, and I'm so salty about it that they took it away. Because I was looking at it, because I had somebody sign back up and have a card on file still, and I was trying to click the button to where it does auto invoicing and payment collection, and I was like, it wouldn't click, and it says you need to upgrade your plan. I'm like, what? I had it last year.
Well, the funny thing is, they're already making their money on the credit card transaction. Yeah,
and they charge you more, so they take less percentage as you pay more to them, which it doesn't go down a lot in percentage. I think I could look it up, but it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it. I think it's $50 a month for me with Jobber for what I have.
To add that add-on?
No, so that's my base. That's what I currently pay. But if I wanted to get the auto invoicing back, I'd have to go up to $100 a month.
Oh, okay.
So I'm paying double, and I'm like, just for the auto invoicing is all I wanted. But it's got more features in that, but it's nothing that I need, like time tracking. Yeah, I could do time tracking, but at the same time, I could just be like, hey, I started at 8 a.m., ended at 2. I know my time.
Yeah, you should look next winter. You should look into Yardbook. Yeah. They have time tracking, $35 a month.
Yeah,
auto invoicing, card on file, texting, mass email.
Yeah, seeing that's all the stuff I
$35 a month.
I thought it was all free at Yardbook.
They do have a free plan,
but it's not everything.
It's not everything. Okay. And if you do charge card on file, Yardbook takes 1 extra % of the credit card. So it's 3.9% plus 30 cents instead of 2.9. So if you're doing more than $3,500 in revenue at one time, pay for Yardbook, because you'll easily make that up. It's robust. It's pretty easy to learn, to be honest.
Jobber was just so simple for me. Like, it was easy to understand because it wasn't like a billion things going on at once.
Yardbook is kind of there's definitely some features in there that is, if you expand and take on more work, will be beneficial for you. Yeah. But it sounds like for the stuff that you do, like Yardbook, to learn what you need to learn for what you do.
I might switch. I might.
Don't switch 3 weeks before the season starts.
No, not doing it right now, but I might. I'm so upset about it.
Yeah, I
it was just such a convenience thing too. Like, I knew it was going to happen every Friday.
Yeah.
And there was some, like, if they didn't have card on file when you first set up the billing, you would have to totally, like, take it all off, reset it all up with the card that's on file to set up auto pay. Yeah, it was weird. You couldn't just go in and click auto pay since they have a card on file. You would have to close the job, open the job back up, and reschedule it, and it was. But
I mean, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there that use Jobber, use Yardbook. So
I'm not bashing Jobber, kind of. I said I'm not bashing Jobber, but I kind of am. I'm just a little salty. That's all. I'm sure they had sent out an email about it, and I think it's like a spam email. Like, I'm just some promotion. They have a promotion going on right now for their next levels up or other packages at like 25% off, but it's only for the first 3 months. I'm like, you ain't tricking me.
I hope to be able to get to the point where I can have a sponsored deal with Copilot, and maybe have like a Code Ninja for $50 off your.
Yeah.
your pricing or something.
Yeah, because they're pricey too. I know it'd be worth it because I love Mike Andy's stuff.
He's so brilliant.
Yeah.
And Copilot, compared to when I first started, there were so many issues.
Did you make a video about it?
No, I'm gonna do like a Copilot 1 month later.
Well, no, not just Copilot, but you went out to his
Landscape Summit.
Yeah, you went out to. Did you make a video on it?
I didn't because
you probably couldn't film. Could you?
No, you could.
Oh, okay.
It's just you're sitting from 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m.
Oh.
Like listening to other people speak, and the last thing you want to do is like, do more talking. You just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to eat and maybe go to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do a 1 month later on Copilot. Like the first couple days, like a bunch of my customers got the same email twice. Like sometimes it was like texting them when it wasn't supposed to text.
Wow.
A lot of bugs.
Yeah.
It's a lot better now.
Okay.
But oh man, was it rough that first 2 weeks.
But now it's fine. Like for the beginning of the season, it's okay. Like it's not going to cause any problems.
There's still some issues here and there.
Yeah.
But nothing like what it was.
Yeah.
When I first started.
But you're prepared for those issues because you know what those issues are. There's nothing like.
And for the most part, they've been fixed, so I don't have to worry about.
I'm sure they have, but like you're ready. So like if customer have you done billing with it yet? Like have you?
Not yet.
Okay, because that might present whole different issues to be weeded out.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and it might be a little stressful, but.
Yeah, I mean,
I love the idea of it. I just right now I need to conserve some money.
Yeah, I mean, Copilot for the vision that I see that Mike Andes has for it.
Yeah,
like I'm all about it.
Anything
and just
he's
helping
got a vision for, I'm all about, dude.
Yeah, well, and just like knowing your numbers, like that's what I really want to kind of focus on this year for myself is just like close ratio. Like one of the things that's really cool within Copilot is it's gonna give you like a radius of your work, and it'll let you know if you need to increase the price on a customer or you need to let a customer go. Maybe they're too far out of your service area. It'll let you know if you need to hire someone, if you need to fire someone.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things with Copilot that I'm excited for.
You need to hire someone. You need less work if you want to stay solo. I don't know. I don't know if you want this in the podcast or not, but you can cut it out later in editing. Whoops. But like I just want to stay solo. Like I love the idea of growing, but I don't want to grow to where I have to hire someone.
Then increase those prices.
Yeah.
If you want to grow the money.
Prices.
Yeah, grow the prices.
Yeah. Or just get rid of the low price clients.
Or just grow those prices.
Yeah. But it's just I just don't want to hire someone because I feel like that's whole nother. Because like I don't know how you do your payment. Like we could talk about it later. Like how you pay your employees and stuff. Like it's not W-2 or is it a W-2?
No, right now it's like I want to become an S corp this year, so that way like taxes will be taken out for them. But last year it was 1099.
Okay.
And I took out taxes out of what they paid, and then I would give them the taxes so then they could send in to the IRS.
Oh, okay.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah. The tax guy I hired just finally told me how to make tax payments. I was trying to look it up, and I found a form. It was like a Schedule C form. I was like, I don't know how to fill this out. Can somebody just try to look up videos? And I'm like, I'm not understanding anything these people are saying. So I was like, hey, tax guy, can you help me set up quarterly taxes? And he's like, you know what? You just go to irs.gov/direct pay, and you just pay.
Well, and the IRS ain't gonna turn down you.
Yeah, and you put in there, you select like estimated tax payment and stuff, and they'll send you a form. But he's like, that's how
estimated tax 0.01.
And I was like, I literally was Googling this for months, and I never found anything about this direct pay. All I ever found was Schedule C form or whatever. And I was so confused that I just didn't do it, and I just put money aside.
Yeah.
But now this tax guy's telling me some good news, hopefully. So we'll see. I'm still waiting. I contacted them a week ago yesterday and didn't hear anything until yesterday. They're like, hey, we're going to start doing your taxes. I'm like, I'm sure I filled stuff out wrong, so let me know.
Well, hopefully you won't get audited and you won't owe any more money.
I did not receive any cash or check payments.
You did not, right? You did not?
No, not at all. No, I put it all aside. I saved every single check, though. Every single check that was written to me to pay, I still have it from last year. I saved it all because I was like, I don't know. Do I just shred these?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably smart.
I can look it up on Jobber. It'll tell me what was cash and check payment and stuff, and I have it all right there. But I'm just like, I was dumbfounded. I was like, what about these cash and checks? And he's like, well, so they're not, apparently you don't get taxed like the first $13,000 or something. I don't know.
I mean, if he's, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think he's kind of treating it as like, oh, it's a gift. It's not an actual exchange of services for payment. So you treat it as a gift. And then that's where he's like, oh, no, it's like, yeah, it's a gift.
Because I never deposited
and then there's a certain
cash.
Deduction.
I never deposited cash into the bank account, so it's like they wouldn't.
I never take cash.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't take cash.
No, it's just one Asian guy. He doesn't speak very good English, and all he has is cash. So
I won't turn down cash, but I don't take cash.
Yeah. He's the only guy that pays with cash. Everybody else is check or credit card. And the people that send me checks, they have a credit card on file. They just don't want it to be taken out of their credit card. They just would rather send a check. I don't know why. They say that their credit card info gets stolen a lot, or how they have dealt with that stuff, and they feel like if, I used it to take a payment, like it would put it out on a market that they don't want it out on, and somebody would hack the system, and conspiracy.
T-Mobile gets hacked. Netflix gets hacked. Like
my parents work for the government, and their fingerprints and identities got stolen from the government servers. Yeah. Like they have free identity theft.
It will happen to you multiple times in your life.
I've had one lady that's given me like 6 different credit card infos on file, because every time I go to charge her card, it's declined, and I call her, and she's like, had to cancel another one. It got fraudulent charges on it.
See, that's a customer I would think about considering dropping, just because it's a hassle to you have to take the time to do that every billing cycle.
But she's fine now. Like she says that it's fine now. She changed her email, her phone number, got a new card, got a couple new cards or whatever.
Maybe she had plastic surgery in like Mexico or something, and while she was under, they skimmed her cards.
No clue, but it did kind of concern me. It's like every month.
Yeah.
It would either come up declined, or she would be like, hey, I need to change it again. Be like, what are you buying on the web? Where are you doing your shopping? I don't want to go there.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to be it for this one. I know we ran pretty long. I don't know how long it was, but I'm sure it's definitely over an hour.
Take out my rambling.
But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys are watching, I appreciate you watching to the end. Even if you're listening, I appreciate you listening to the end too. I know Eamon does as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. And I hope you have safe travels out to Nebraska, right?
Yes, sir.
And hopefully we'll catch you at the next Lawn Care Accelerator meetup in April. So
that'd be cool.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.